So, let's look at your build in the Des Moines here. You've got main armaments mod 1. You've got engine repair room, sure, fine, whatever. Aiming systems, propulsion, concealment. Range. Why do you use range in a Des Moines, Nate?
Uh, um, to be honest, I set this up a long time ago and I never changed it.
Okay.
I just figure being able to shoot farther without longer distance while you're farther back is better because dispersion from enemy ships.
Don't you have the legendary mod? Or
I do not.
So,
okay.
if you're using Des Moines, generally, you're going to be playing up against islands or with a destroyer that's got smoke or whatever. The point I'm getting at is usually reload is the better option. This is ocean, so range actually is a good choice here, right? But
Yeah.
just pretty much any other map, you're probably going to use islands to isolate your fights to where the reload comes in more handy.
Was the reload? I mean, like, how many seconds does it make it shorter? Like, the Moines already 5.5.
You're
It's still
5.5, now you drop
12%.
to 4.84 seconds.
Okay. Oh,
It's
okay.
it's not a
The thing with
ton.
range in ships like a Des Moines or Worcester, like you have to look at your shelf life times too, and how comfortable and how good you actually are at hitting at the extended range you get.
What does
Like
that extend
Good
his
point.
range to?
like
So
18.4 kilometers, and that's
18,
So you're
probably
now just extended your spotting.
that
How
too.
far you are spotted?
That's true. So that's an extra 3 kilometers in which you're detected, or 2.5, to where you're detected when you shoot your guns. Um, and remember what I just said about earlier, using islands to isolate your engagement so that it's only like a 1v1 that you're taking. Because that's what you want in the Des
Okay.
Moines. You want to take
Well,
1v1s when you're bow onto targets and you can DPM them down to death. Like that's,
like
you
I
know.
said, I got this ship a long time ago, and I never really bothered changing anything because it seemed to
Okay.
work. That's why I played it.
Yeah, yeah,
Listen,
right.
it's
I
fine.
completely approve of absolute laziness.
As long as you're hitting at that extra range you gain, I think it's fine. If you
Yeah,
can hit with 14-second shelf life time at 18 kilometers, be my guest.
right. But
But
the
if you
thing is,
can, then the extra range is pointless.
yeah. The other thing is generally what you're using your Des Moines for is radaring and heating up on destroyers. So that
Right.
range doesn't help you there. Um, so, okay, whatever. Let's move on. Obviously, you've chosen Radar Hydro. That makes sense. Do you have a special captain in here?
No,
No.
I don't think so. This
The
is my
reason,
one of my highest.
okay.
And I just thought I'd just keep grinding him.
So the reason I bring that up, guys, is because Halsey, look at this. Two of your skills are buffed with Halsey. The Does, same thing. Oven chicken, I don't know. One of the two.
Often
So,
chicken could be too. I mean, survivability expert is a viable perk for Des Moines. It
oh,
could be useful.
100%. Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're using, if you've got a top tier ship, a tier 10, let's face it, land battles, a lot. Way too much, in my opinion. Um, you might as well put one of those captains on. Now, one of the does is doubloons, the other one is coal. Well worth picking up. Halsey
You-
is free. Just do the campaign.
Oh, I have Halsey. It's not very
Where,
high though.
Wolfram, thanks for
Halsey
the
counts
follow.
as 50. Halsey is 15 points when you get him, I think.
I thought it
Do
was
you have
10.
a Salem?
No, I don't.
What? What is the?
Salem? I don't have a Salem.
What's your Halsey in?
I have to look.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Because there's two possible answers that are really good here, right? One is a high tier cruiser, like the Des Moines. The other is a high tier battleship, like Montana. So, just food for thought, first and foremost. You want to put your best captains typically on your best top tier ships, right? Your best tier 10 ships,
I
generally.
would
Right.
I would say the ships you play the most.
Well, yes, that too. The nice thing about putting them on your top tier ships like that is, again, clan battles, ranked battles, it comes in handy. And then you can put them on other premium ships like Ohio, for example, or Salem, like Puddin mentioned, or anything below that, lower tier wise. So, just food for thought. So standard captain. SAT's already seen something I want to mention as well. Good night, JP. You've got, or good evening, depending on how you're. I think that's good evening. But in any case, grease the gears into demolition expert, into adrenaline rush, concealment, gun feeder, focus fire.
The gun feeder I just did a week ago. I just wanted to try it.
Okay.
Gunfeeder is nice, especially with the special captains.
Gunfeeder's nice. With the special captains, it's even sexier. So if you like it, it's another reason to put a Halsey or a Doe on. Focus fire training feels weird. Yes, the Des Moines got great anti-air, and buffing the anti-air is sexy. But at this point, most carrier players know to stay away from Des Moines. So I don't feel like this is going to give you a lot. A heavy AP shells is fine, makes sense. Top grade gunner is fine, makes sense. So SAT says, where's the superintendent? Superintendent gives you 1 extra consumable, 1 extra hydro, 1 extra radar, most importantly, 1 extra heal. If I were you, think about this, Nate, for your replacement captain. Okay, whether that's Halsey or the Does, in my opinion. I would drop focus fire training. I would drop demolition expert. The extra fire chance you don't really need. The extra fire chance is nice, but with your DPM, you're gonna get fires like crazy anyways. So I would say
priority targeting, but
why not?
I just think it's a waste of skill for me.
Why is that?
Because if you notice in the video, you'll see me looking around a lot.
Okay. So
and that's what I like to do. That's what I'm used to in priority targeting. Like, even if I still have it, I'll still look around a lot.
Sure. Okay.
It still helps you though. Even if you don't want to take it, I think the consumables expert is better than both the demo expert and the focus fire training.
Okay. So take consumables expert then. You have extra uptime for your radar, and extra uptime for your hydro.
Yeah.
Sure. So go for that.
Like,
okay.
Demo expert for 1% for 2 points is just
it's
overpriced.
it's difficult
it feels
because
so bad taking.
you've
It
got
helps
such a
with
high.
subs, though, too.
It does, but you've got such a high rate of fire. You're gonna get fires anyways. So
Does demo expert actually work the explosion radius for your depth charges, or is it just for the HE shells? Because my
only your
my
HE
understanding
shells.
is it's only the HE shells, which makes it much less valuable.
But as you can see,
Doesn't work
extra.
for submarines.
It says extra explosion radius when attacking submarines, so it will help with your ability to damage submarines that are periscope depth or above. So okay, whatever. Here, I would grab superintendent here.
Okay.
Yeah, drop the heavy AP. Like, heavy AP is a good skill, but it's definitely not better than superintendent.
So you could also do that. You could drop the heavy AP, and then you can instead pick up survivability.
I think you just stay like Halsey is like 15 points. I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
15.
Hold on, guys. I need to turn down this obnoxiously loud song. There you go. Well, regardless, if you want to keep fine, you can do that. Personally, I'd rather survive longer than do more AP damage. But I guess that's up to you. If you're doing a lot of AP damage all the time, then sure. All right, let's move on down to your flags. You've got anti-det, you've got heal boost, ship speed, consumables, anti-air. It's okay. I'm surprised that I don't see the fire chance flags here. because you've invested already in pyrotechnician or demolition expert, so why wouldn't you further increase your fire chance?
Yeah.
Well, the one normally I would do just the fire, but the other one I like to save if I run DDs.
Because it's fire and
'Cause-
flood.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are expensive. Like those are two of the most expensive flags.
They
Yeah.
are.
But I agree with you that it feels weird taking the skill point for it and then not taking the flags.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what
Right.
I think is funny is you guys just yelled at him for taking a skill for 1% and not taking
Yeah,
the
but-
flags.
Oh,
But the flags are like if you're kind of rich in quotation marks, the flags
But
are free. The captain skill is not.
Between the two, I would
Alright.
rather take the flags than the captain's
I think
skill.
I also not did the flags because the guns are so low that the flags wouldn't barely do anything. They would give me for both
1%.
flags. It'd give me 1%.
No, it's 1%
Yes.
each.
No, it's 1%
No.
total, I thought.
Total,
It's-
because the guns are so
It's Des Moines.
low.
They're-
No, you're right.
caliber.
You're right.
It's 1% each.
Galver over 160. 203 is over 160, so it's 1% each. So
Oh, okay.
this is a 2% increase in your fire chance. And as Grunty
Every
said,
single one of the flags gives you as much as the 2-point skills.
right, so you're better off getting that 2 point back for something else. Yeah.
I thought they were on. Oh, I'm thinking of the Worcester. I think.
Worcester is bigger too, I think. No, Worcester's smaller, you're
No.
right. It's
No,
150,
Worcester's
whatever.
smaller.
152. Okay. All right, well, there's your build. Now let's take a look at your replay.
Now, when I loaded into this map, I was like, okay, what do I do here?
It's ocean, so you find a destroyer to smoke you up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that,
didn't.
that one destroyer that's a Kagron
Yeah.
probably reload booster.
Well, you asked the Kagero.
I would ask the Kagro if he's smoked. That's definitely a good start here.
Mhm.
And if he is, then I would probably make my way over to one side of the map anyway. Like you definitely do not want to be in the middle here.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, like I was doing, I made my way over to A, but I just kind of hanged out in the back the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, with you having the range module, you can kind of get away with that, right? Like you can,
Yeah.
you can definitely be a little bit more passive. And I think with Ocean, because you don't have a smoke destroyer nearby, like I totally get it. It makes sense that you might be saying, all right, I'm better off, being careful and cautious, right?
Yeah, I probably what SAT said. I probably would have gone to the Kagero side too, but
I would have totally.
at least like if he says he's smoked, if he's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bad situation no
So-
matter how you look at it.
I will say, even if the Kagero is not smoke, a Des Moines is a fantastic destroyer supporter. So I feel like even if the Kagero is not smoke, then you're almost better off going that side, right? Because you want to support that destroyer. You want to keep him alive. And right, as SAT said, also you're good at spotting. The Kagero is good at spotting submarines, and there are 2 of them on this map. Hey, look! Speaking of subs, there's one. Falcon requesting yellow submarine so I can chill more. Thanks, Falcon. Cheers, dude. Man, you guys like your Edmund Fitzgerald song.
I did not like this grouping of the ships, though.
Why? What's wrong with this?
I felt like if they fired at one ship, they would hit me. So I just kind of why they see me turn around because I'm like, I don't like this.
Well, at the same token, there's so many other ships they could shoot at besides you.
Right.
Now, I will say this: in a map like this with no cover whatsoever, you being bow in is no bueno. as SAT mentions, the Vermont is on your side. The Vermont, if you look at the battleships up there, the Vermont and the Thunderer can overmatch your face and punch you in. So you need to be watching the Vermont very carefully. Yes, flashback to Cott's Vermonts. Oh my god. Here's what you want to do.
The
Nate.
problem with this map was there's no cover, so no
No.
matter if I was bowing or broadside, it didn't matter because I'd be broadside to something.
Disagree. What you want to do is you want to set yourself up. So, okay, let me do this. All right. So this is the view that you are seeing right now, right? You're bow
Yeah.
into them. Okay. So you're absolutely correct. At this point, the Vermont can punch you in the face, right? The other ships on the side, the Alaska, if you turn too far to the right, can absolutely punch you on the side and citadel you. So what you want to do is you want to put yourself in a kiting away position, and you actually want to advance on the enemy by reversing. I know it sounds strange, but by reversing in a kiting away position, you can better control the engagement. If you're shot at by the Vermont, you can hit the W key, and it's very difficult for battleships at extremely long range to shoot you from that position, especially if you've got the propulsion module, which, if I remember right, you do. So what you want to do, let me get you zoomed in to shoot. But anyways, what you
Sorry.
want to do, don't apologize. What you want to do is you want to be in a kiting way. You want to flip your ship 180 degrees. All right? And you want it set up literally so that you're still looking south like here, but your bow is pointed to the right and your stern is pointed to the left here. Because if you're getting shot at, you can hit W 4 times and run. If you're not being shot at, you can continue to slowly reverse cautiously towards the enemy.
This is
Okay.
also where having priority target would be really, really good, because it would tell you how many of these ships are actually looking at you.
If your priority target goes up to anything higher than 2, then it tells you I need to stop shooting, I need to focus on maneuvering and going dark. And then once you've gone dark, get in position to open up again and start shooting again.
Okay.
Let's go back to your view. AP at Vermont at this range? What are you trying to do?
Damage it. It was broadside, so I was like,
It wants to make a
Okay.
dent in the armor.
So, first of all, those shells didn't hit. Second of all, at that extreme range, your shells are plunging. They are plunging onto the deck, the superstructure, the turrets, or most likely the side plating, and they will bounce or hit the torpedo protection. Look right here. 1 ricochet, 1 overpenetration on the Alsace. So, what did you get out of that salvo? Next to nothing.
nothing. Yeah. Well,
You get 10%.
I did figure it out and switch to HE though.
Good. As SAT says, it's better to gamble with your fire chance. If you
Right.
really want to do damage, right now it's HE. Your AP is best suited for broadside battleships that are close range to you, in which case you're probably dead. Broadside cruisers, which is great, but at this extreme range, it's not happening. Now, I want to pause for a second. You got somebody next to you that's pushing in, the Schlieffen. This is actually a good opportunity to hit W and fall in behind him, because the Schlieffen's going to take the aggro from pretty much everybody else. You let him take that aggro, and then you shoot at stuff, and then if he gets low health or dies, you game return and run away. Preferably before he dies, so they're shooting at him instead. SAT says, I'd go north because Pommern and Alaska are free damage. Not a bad decision either. This is a good
Alright.
opportunity to relocate because the Schlieffen's pushing in. Everyone's going to focus on the Schlieffen.
Yeah, I did eventually go north, but the C cap was lost at this point.
So,
So why would I go north and just die?
you're not going to go north and just die. So what I would do, and I'll draw it on the mini-map later, but what you're going to do, you can see my cursor, right? What you're going to do is you're going to come north, and then you're going to curl. You're going to curl westward. What you're going to do when you curl is, again, you're going to go into a kiting away position with your guns focused to the right on the Alaska and on the Pommern. And then you're going to back up as you need to get into range to shoot them. And then you're going to move forward as you need to as they shoot you in order to stay far enough away from them. So that's what I'm talking about. And that's what SAT is talking about. Go north, kite away, and then shoot. Yes, exactly. And then, once they all die, then you can take the cap back.
I don't know. Every time I get this map, I feel like my brain goes stupid and I just don't know what to do.
Okay, and that's fair. But first of all, HE. And we talked about that. You said you figured out switch.
Yeah, I figured it later. I felt like at this point I was doing some damage, so
Okay.
I just saved with it.
Here is where AP is okay.
Yeah.
Here's where AP is okay into the Napoli. But even then, watch what your shells are doing. 2 ricochets and 1 penetration. Why? Because the Napoli's got extremely high side plating armor. So even here, your AP is not doing much. Look at the next salvo coming in. 1 penetration out of that. You're aiming too low. 2 penetrations, 1 ricochet. That's better. Another overpen and a non-pen. And now the Napoli's starting to turn. And your AP again is starting to lose its effectiveness. So HE is the better choice here too. You switch to HE, good. Doesn't matter, Napoli's dead anyway. There he goes. Alright. Who are you gonna shoot at now? First of all, I also want to mention you're dead still. Anybody, especially the Vermont, could have launched a plane and just nuked you. But this is not COTS, so you're okay. The sub is detected. You guys and your pen values memorized is admirable. Wish there's a mod for it. Honestly, dude, I don't memorize pen. I have no idea.
I just memorize like the average. I don't remember exact. There's no way I can remember the exact pen value for every shell against every ship in this game. That's too much
Right.
information.
So honestly, it's more of a, I've got 203mm guns. I got heavy cruiser guns. If I'm up against a battleship, I will not penetrate that battleship unless I'm close. Just easy way to remember it. Now you're hitting the superstructure of the Vermont. You're also hitting his torpedo protection, which means you're not getting any damage. You're also shattering on some of your shells. Absolutely, full forwards. And as SCT says, since the Vermont's not looking at you, you've got the ability to... And maybe this, again, is where priority target would come in handy. I know you said your head's on a swivel and you're looking, but you're not getting the information quickly enough to make these decisions, right? Like, if you know that the Vermont is not shooting at you or not targeting you, then you could feel more comfortable being more aggressive and moving in. Because look at where you're at now. What are you going to shoot at? What are you going to do? You got nothing to do for a while. Thunderer is detected. Okay. You can pick a fight with a Thunderer, or you can wait a little bit. Honestly, I'd probably wait a little bit until you know the Thunderer is going to shoot somebody else. Yeah, exactly, SAT. Looking at those small details does help you fight more efficiently.
At this point, I was going to help the Henry.
I see that. Henri is
I
quite low.
can't believe that you're going to go do team play.
What? What are you talking about?
How dare you do team play?
Yeah, why would you do team play? That's wrong.
Well, unfortunately
I'm
for
trying
you,
to do better, so.
unfortunately for you, the Henri just died. So guess what? Now you've just made the Pommern, target you, because he's got nobody else to shoot at, right? So here, you should not be turning back into the Pommern, because by the way, in doing so, you're showing broadside to, I don't know, the Thunderer,
Yeah, I'm
and
showing
wherever
broadside
the
to
Buffalo is, right?
Lucky
You-
for me, they weren't even looking at me though.
But how do you know that? Because you're on priority target. The only way you know
I-
that is because shells aren't coming in, right?
Sure. I mean, I was looking to see what people are looking at, but
Uh-huh.
By the time where you were looking, those shell are 2 seconds away from impacting you if he was actually shooting at you. So
And the
that
other
wouldn't
thing-
be too late.
The other thing is the time it takes to spectate those shells, those turrets, right? Look at the Pommern. What's he looking? Look at the Thunder. What's he looking at? That's impacting your ability to do damage. It's impacting your DPM, right?
okay.
Free look.
So
Also, by this whole turn in, you're making your situation worse because going in this direction, you're just making your decision like you're just getting pinched in even more between that Pommern and the Thunder right now.
the closer you are to the Pommern, the better it is for the Pommern, and worse it is for you. The Thunder can also
Right.
slap you, but
Oh,
more
yeah,
importantly, you're getting just about. Pause it here. Your radar range is 10 kilometers. So you look at the mini map. You're just about in Pommern's secondary range. So now, not only are you going to deal with his main guns, you're going to deal with his secondary guns, which is free damage for him, and all the extra fires and damage control for you. It's going to overload you. So you should have taken the opportunity to get into a kite position before you shoot. You didn't. Let's see what you do from here.
Yeah. You would be pretty much in the exact same situation, but just the ship 180 degrees flipped, and you would still be shooting the Pommern, but keeping your distance, not getting closer into secondaries, and also making the angle for the Thunderer worse.
See, when you're kiting away, I want you to think about it, Nate. You've got the ability to control the engagement, because when you're kiting away, you can go faster than the ships that are chasing you. Look how fast you're going right now. You're going negative 11 knots. The Pommern can outrun that, right? So
Yeah, but
because
I mean, I don't know. I thought I was doing okay.
because the
YAP.
You
Well,
just
hold on.
broadsides me.
one thing at a time. Because the Pommern can outrun you, the Pommern is controlling this engagement, not you. The Pommern is. Okay?
Right.
And that means that the Pommern can choose when to disengage. You can't. And because you can't, you are forced into a situation where you absolutely have to win this trade with him. You have to out DPM the Pommern. The reason I'm bringing that up is because if you had the reload module instead of the range module, you'd have a better chance of out DPMing the Pommern. He's low health anyway. You're probably going to win this engagement. But what I'm trying to get at, Nate, is if you think of him as a full health Pommern right here, you absolutely lose this
Oh, and
engagement.
I would have no chance. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing. Let's just assume the sub is not in this detection range. As soon as the Pommern dies, you go unspotted with
Yes.
reload.
That's true. Versus range, the Pommern dies, the Buffalo Thunder are within range, you stay spotted. I mean, that's a nice benefit, but
You're just
Oh,
losing more
I
hit
thought-
points here than you need to.
I thought after you fire though, your range goes all the way up to your
your
your detection goes all the way up to your range. I thought it goes farther than that.
no, it goes up
it's
to your gun
just-
range. In some
I
cases, it
didn't- I
might go
didn't know
beyond
that,
it.
So.
The only time it actually goes beyond is spotter play.
Right. So
Oh, okay.
because of what Putin is saying is because of your extra range, the Thunder Buffalo will keep you spotted when the Pommern dies. If you had
Right.
reload, your range wouldn't be as far. So probably outside the range of Thunder and Buffalo at this point, which means you kill the Pommern and you're dark.
Because the other thing it's going to tell you is it can't be the Thunderer spotting you. Like if you've got reload, it can't be the Thunderer. So it's the Buffalo or the sub spotting you. Which is going to tell you they're at least within 15 kilometers of you.
Right.
Right. You'll
Now-
see what that. Yeah.
Getting back to this particular engagement, like what SAT and I are both trying to say is, you're probably going to win this fight because he's so low, but you're going to take a lot of damage in the process, which you don't want to take. You don't, if I remember right, have adrenaline rush. So it's not to your benefit to take any damage whatsoever.
Right.
And that's
You're
where
actually behind in hit points if these numbers are accurate. So
kiting away would be more advantageous. Now, Puddin said, why AP here? Why are you firing AP at the Pomeranian Sir?
It's broadside.
Hmm.
that's not broadside.
Well,
It
I
is
was still. I wasn't hitting like the bottom. I was hitting a superstructure.
It's fine for
Right.
super. It's fine for
Well-
super.
what I'm gonna say. He is and he isn't. You do have the improved angles,
Mm.
but HE starts destroying all of its secondaries that are, like, actually doing damage and causing fires on you.
Not only that, also destroying his torpedo tube in case he gets so close that he can use his torpedoes on you.
Well, I mean, no offense, if he gets torpedoed, he kind of deserves it at this point.
I do
Yeah,
agree.
I never
I do
got that
agree.
close.
I do agree. I'm just simply saying, like, that's
Right,
something
you
else to
might-
consider.
I
Okay.
mean, you can destroy things with the AP, but the HE is just going to destroy more faster.
It's a Des Moines and he has the AP angles, but I just want to get to this point because I hear it all the time. He was broadside. Guys, look at the mini map. Look where he's looking at and look at his ship. That is not broadside.
It's at the extreme edge of your American piercing because remember, American AP shells do have slightly better pen angles.
You are almost hitting him at 45 degrees here. That's
Right.
what the actual angle is.
Right.
That is not broadside.
No, it's not broadside. Now, I will say, you might be able to pen the bow. Might be able to pen because the bow curves in, so you might have a flatter hit at the bow if you really wanted to go with the AP here, and you didn't want to shoot the superstructure. All right, let's see what happens.
I mean, yeah, 45 degrees is fine for Des Moines, but you hear the same argument he was broadside when someone is shooting an IGN cruiser or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I just want to raise the awareness for people that is not broadside.
I'm pausing it again for a second. Did you all
Oh.
just see that flare go up?
That's
Yeah,
why I
you
keep
got,
mine turned off.
secondaries.
So
He's got
now,
lugens.
again, if you were kiting away right here, Nate, you would not be sitting within his secondary range, correct?
Yeah, but it was too late for that at this point.
It is, but I'm just trying to point out again, if you got into that kiting away, you could hit W, get out of the secondary range. Because you didn't, because you're reversing, and he's controlling the engagement, now he gets a 10% buff on his secondary damage, essentially, right? Because the secondaries will fire much quicker.
Right.
Okay.
I think what Zap is saying is, prior to even starting this engagement, you were in the kite out position.
Right, exactly. That's what you should have been.
Right? Like,
Okay.
I mean, this is all a byproduct of, bow tanking at this point.
Yep. Now, I like that you took a moment and looked around. That's very smart. The people that I'd be most worried about right now are the Thunder and the Buffalo. Hindenburg, Alaska, Yoshino are most likely focused on the Schlieffen that's pulling a Han Solo and charging. And maybe the Alsace.
I don't think any of them have the range except for Thunder or Buffalo.
Right, exactly. That's another reason why I wouldn't be worried about those three.
Buffalo already needs a range mod 2, which is probably unlikely.
I mean, Thunderer, I'd still be worried about because he could just dunk on you. Like everybody forgets about plunging fire. That doesn't
Right.
need overmatch. It just dunks.
Again, priority target would be nice because then you knew someone else would be looking at you.
But see,
If that
this is
showed
where,
one at
like,
this moment, you would know that it's only
Just
the
the
bomber.
Pomeranian. Mm-hmm.
and this is where reload, because the Buffalo's too far. And you would know, well, prior to the sub dropping all his torps,
Mm-hmm.
that, there's a sub in the area.
You've got an I-56 nearby. Who didn't ping you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
those were not homing torps. Those were.
Oh,
Right.
Now he pinged.
And as SAT said, a radar might have been a good idea because most likely that I-56 was on the surface when he fired those first set of torpedoes. Now he's probably dove because I know I-56 has terrible concealment. After this torpedo salvo passes, you need to turn on your hydro. Adam, I
would-
don't...
That hydro should have been on already.
It
The
should have-
moment he
it
saw
should
the
have.
ping, he should have. Probably even before the ping, it should have been just to
It
be
should have.
safe.
Yeah,
But the
But it-
ping
it
was
wasn't.
the latest moment it should have gone on.
it wasn't. So you know what? Now you need to hydro here.
hydro radar because like there's nothing else that's good that you could use it for.
I don't think radar spots subs underwater.
No, it does not. If he's
No.
on the surface, it will spot him.
But that's information. He's
That's
not on the
information.
surface.
He's not on the surface. What else do you need radar for? Spotting the Thunderer? Spotting the Buffalo?
You also missed your depth charts planes. Like you were pinged. You didn't use your planes.
You could have used your planes. Now, what you've done right here is you've said, hey, shoot me to both the Thunderer and the sub. Because by shooting, you've now given up your concealment. You were not detected before, which also tells you something. That enemy sub is not at periscope depth. He's farther below. But by shooting, you're helping that I-56 to target you while he's at 30 meters depth.
Oh, yeah.
And what are you going to get for that? A few overpens on the Thunderer superstructure.
The other thing is, I would at least ping the map and just three letter letters sub.
Mhm.
Right, just to let everybody know, because your
I mean-
heroes right there might have been able to depth chart.
Honestly,
The keg's looking for it.
Did you even realize that was the sub? Like,
Yeah, well, at this point, you'll see in a minute, the sub's right there. He's right underneath me.
And
So,
Hydro
yeah,
would have picked
let's-
them up coming at you.
Let's go back to that discussion about Hydro, dude. Let's go back to that discussion about Hydro. Because
I
I'll
know,
tell you,
well,
look at him.
he's
Look at
right
him.
underneath me, like...
He is, but you know what? Nate, if he was at 60-meter crash depth and you had Hydro on, you'd be spotting him right now. And the reason that's important is because you could be dropping your ASW planes all over him.
Does Hydro pick up subs when they're underwater?
Within
though?
2 kilometers.
Yes.
Within 2 kilometers.
No one's ever said anything about that, so I didn't know.
That's fine. That's why we're
But
saying
hey-
it now. You are learning. Everybody else here is learning. Yay. I learned this the hard way last week. So you're not alone, dude. Go ahead, Budden. What do you want to say?
I was gonna say, like, you know, live learn. Like, if you didn't know, okay, but still, it should have been the first set of torps should have caused a radar and a hydro because, like, say, what else do you have them for? Like,
Right.
if you get
Just-
torped by a Hindenburg, I'm sorry, you deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
radar's not going to help you spot the Hindenburg at that point.
Yeah, you're close enough to where you're just gonna naturally spot the torpedoes.
Because the Hindenburg isn't going to steal torpedo. Unless it's around an island.
Yoshino's like, maybe Yoshino torps, but it's gonna go past the Allspice and the other cruiser.
Right. In other words, as soon as you saw that, you should have popped your your hydro anyway, just because, gee, torpedoes? Let's push the button that helps me spot them sooner so I can dodge them quicker and therefore not die to them.
At this point, if you do not reverse and ram him, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Oh, actually, I didn't notice the sub, and you'll see when I notice the sub, because I was concentrating on the Thunderer.
Tunnel vision. Okay, fair enough.
I don't think priority target would have saved him from the sun.
Look at this. Look at this. He's
See, I was
actually
already backing up.
He's actually paying. He actually. You got an
That's the funny
accidental
part, like-
ram.
Because okay, go to my point of view though. If you go to my point of view, you'll see that I switch to my depth charges and start flipping around like.
And you're
Oh,
like, where
shit.
is he? Where did he go?
I have a question. Was it the worst shotgun attempt in history of shotgun attempts?
I think he just ran out of time to be underwater.
He did. And yes, this needs to go to Free Brain. Somebody clip that, please. SAT, go back and clip it, please.
Oh, I'm
I tried to
flipping
grab
already.
it, but thank you. Because that's
Yeah.
that's freaking hilarious.
I
That
told
is
you. I
stupid.
told you.
Oh
I am
my
not gonna
god.
waste a good title. Okay.
What?
Accidental ram. Yeah.
Oh my
No.
god.
You title this reverse shotgun, okay? That's the title.
No, because what did I say earlier? I'd be disappointed if you didn't reverse and ram him.
But like I was saying, I didn't notice him because I was focusing on the Thunderer, so I was already
Uh-huh.
backing up.
Uh-huh.
I demand.
Then he
Oh,
popped up on the mini map, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And I switched to my depth charges and was spinning around. By the time I got to him,
Oh my god.
he ran into me.
I demand a poll to change that clip title to reverse shotgun.
Yeah.
Well, considering I run the polls and I came up with the title, it's not gonna happen.
You're abusing mod powers.
I mean, you could change it to butt to the face. I mean, and yeah, HE would be better here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Me abuse mod powers? Never.
never.
I think we should do a poll on that.
We should do a poll on you abusing mod powers. I agree. Oh my god. What did we just witness? Adam, I apologize, but chances are very low we'll get to your replay today. We can get to it tomorrow. I need to know which replay it is. Is it the one that you put in the in the Discord chat? Because if so, I can at least download it and try to get it ready for you. Okay, it's the recent one. Pommern, ranked carry, that game? Okay, so, Adam, if you're cool with it, I'll do that tomorrow during the replay portion of tomorrow's stream. Does that work? Speaking of which, tomorrow, guys, I'm giving away full game keys to celebrate finishing Raid and to celebrate finishing the previous sponsorship and all of your guys' help. I'm going to be giving away Golf with Your Friends game keys. I've got a few of them to give out. We're going to do that during the day, and then people can join in and have some fun together. We can all just hang out and screw around with Golf with Your Friends for a little bit. Duckman, thank you.
Polls up, guys. Vote early, vote often.
There you go. Duckman, thank you very much for the resub. 32 months. Really appreciate that.
Strong.
There's
I
missing one.
always vote. Yeah, yeah.
What? What's wrong with the poll?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, buddy.
It's just all the correct answers. Just one's more correct than the other two.
Okay, your poll is proof enough of what was trying to be questioned in the poll.
Hmm.
We know. That's why I didn't put down it is what he does. Like, I promise to use my mod powers for evil.
Okay. Also, like, no offense, but I witnessed your shooting. You should take the reload mod.
Okay.
Yes.
Your aim is not good enough to justify the extra range.
I agree.
All due to
100%.
respect.
And so, I mean, and that's more of a, I would say, Nate, that's more of a function of the extremely floaty shells of the Des Moines.
Right.
You're just not used to it. I mean, there are people that play COTS that have played thousands of battles in Des Moines that can hit stuff at ridiculous range. But why? Because they've played it so much. So absolutely switch to reload. Absolutely,
Okay.
Absolutely control your engagements more with kiting away playstyle instead of bow on to them. And absolutely continue to back up over subs. What the hell, guys? This is ridiculous.
I told you. That's why it's 2.5 kills, because the
Oh my
half
God.
was a sub coming up from underneath
Some
me.
counts as a full kill.
All right.
That sub basically killed itself.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
do
fine.
anything there. The sub just came up and I backed into it.
Okay. So let's look at this replay here at the start. Here's what I would have done. In my Des Moines, I would have immediately gone to support the Kagero. You didn't. Okay, fine. But I would have immediately gone to do that. You didn't. Instead, you went down to A. Now, if you're going to go down to A, you need to do something like this. You hook. Why? Because then you are kiting away. Your guns can shoot this way when you're kiting away. Enemies up from here can't really hit you if you're kiting away. You see that?
Okay.
Duckman, your 510's fired off. You want me to play it again for you, dude? Sorry, guys. Duckman needs his 510s. Again, apparently. Maybe you can't hear him.
I'm gonna disagree with everything you say. He played this perfectly because we never would have gotten the reverse ram on a sub if he didn't play it this way.
I mean, I like it. Okay, so okay, here we go. Again, now you're opening up. At this point, Nate, the best thing to do, again, kite away, turn west, and then you start to back up. You start to back up slowly with your shells firing at the Hindenburg, at the Vermont, whatever, and you're ready to pull forward if you need to. You didn't, you bowed in. And again, fortunately for you, you've got the Schlieffen here, who's currently the focus target, and frankly, the Takahashi as well seems to be the focus target because everybody knows Takahashi is weak sauce. By the way, Kagero is smoke. He's just smoking right now. All right, now you've decided to go help the Henri again. So what you do is you move forward and you do something like this. You curl out, you curl west, maybe not that much, maybe you curl like this, but you get the idea. Curl away so that when the Palmer decides to shoot at you, you can just hit W and run from the guy, and he doesn't get his secondaries on you.
Now, before this moves on, the reason you want to curl towards the 1 line is because you don't want to curl towards the 10 line, which is pushing you into all the enemies, which could
Right.
make you the focus fire.
My
Worst thing you
problem
could
with my one problem with that is if I want to curl towards the 1 line, if I'm shooting at the Palmer and he sees me, I'm
Mhm.
dead.
Why?
No. Well,
You don't shoot until you make the curl.
You
Oh,
don't. So you don't sit broadside like this. You sit kiting away like this. Okay. At this angle,
Okay.
you can still fire your 3 guns over your shoulder. And frankly, if you need to give up your first 2 guns to dodge shells, that's what you do, right? But when you're kiting away and you're looking over your shoulder, you can continue to hit shells. And the big thing about that is, if you're in trouble, what do? You hit the magical W key, right?
right.
You bounce into the border, and that forces you to slide south, and then you turn on the border. Now, during that time, your front 2 batteries probably don't have a shot. Okay, fine. You let them turn around the other side. You go dark. You stop shooting. You reposition yourself, continue moving southward, and then what do? You curl again into kiting away, and same thing. Now you can shoot the Palmer again with your 3 turrets. You see what I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
it's
That's
pretty much you don't have to go full speed doing towards the border though. It's just you basically want to match the speed that the Palmer is coming at you. Just keep
Right.
the distance above 13 kilometers. Just
Right.
keep it out of his secondary range. That's your goal.
right. I want to
Because
point
if you
out.
keep it out of the secondaries, you cut his damage to you probably
By a
in
lot.
half, to be
Yeah.
honest.
By a lot, yeah. I want to point out too, when you're at this position here, look at those torpedoes from the I-56. Dude, you are lucky that that sub player has no idea how to play that sub. Because if he had pinged you right there, and you had taken
Oh,
that
yeah.
ping,
I was lucky this whole game.
I don't think those were homing torpedoes.
no, they were
No.
not.
But the one thing you have to be careful when you're kiting in a Des Moines is your ass end is completely flat. And
Yes.
the Palmer could go through it.
Yes.
One thing you've got to be very conscious of.
Yeah, you want to be at an angle. You don't want
Yep.
to show your flat back to him. It's
Yep.
basically like the same position you were shooting him. Just flip your ship around. That's what you want to be.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Go a bit forward, like. Yeah, pause here. Like, just imagine your ship exactly 180 degrees flipped.
Okay.
Did I move too far forward?
I mean, the Pommern is dead already, so yeah.
Okay. Fine. But yeah, imagine your ship is pointed, this way instead, right? Come on,
Right.
stupid.
Yeah.
I can't make arrows, but you get the idea. There you go. Right? Imagine your Des Moines is like that.
Yeah, I got you. Stop.
Stop drawing arrows then.
You keep this up, I'm drawing a penis. So, anyways, you know,
It will probably let you do that.
you want to be pointing this direction. Yes, it absolutely will. So, anyway, you want to be flipped the other way. So again,
Okay.
this comes down to being able to control that engagement. Now, Machine, Valiant, I don't know if you're still here, but I would very much love if you are here. I can't remember the game, but Machine, I'm gonna ping him. He had a really nice game in a Des Moines where he played a kiting away playstyle, and I covered that replay, and it's on the YouTube. So, you know, that might be useful.